Hey, welcome to another episode of Issues and Insights. I'm Bryce Shumate from Red Hill Cutlery, and I've got my good buddy Matt Denneen here with us from Greenspace. Matt,
good to
always
see you, Bryce.
Good to see you, buddy, and glad to be together again.
Yes, sir.
And we've got a new person to our show with Greenspace, David Haines. Even though David's been with Greenspace for a while, his first time on our show. David, welcome.
Thank you.
Hey guys, we've got lots of things going on with Greenspace
We do.
and the trail systems and partnerships and things going on this summer. Matt, let's talk a little bit about the trails and what's going on.
Springtime always brings a lot of visitors to E-Town, and a lot of visitors come to Greenspace Trails. So we've seen, of course, an uptick in usage. Throughout the winter, we had a great deal of usage, and during COVID, I think our trails were really the lifeline for a lot of people's sanity.
That's right. Way
we kept
to get out.
Yes, sir. We kept them open during COVID pandemic, and so a lot of people came from other regions and discovered our trail system, and they're continuing to come back and visit us. So it's exciting for Greenspace as we expand and we keep up with our trails, but it's great to have visitors and our local users.
And that new bridge that went in last year, the newest one?
Yes.
Over by the nature park area?
Yes,
there?
we had a third bridge added in the Bridges to Nature project. So that was the third and final bridge in that project. And those were 60-foot long bridges and 10-foot wide concrete base steel frame bridges that I think will be there to serve generations to come.
Yeah, I got to see those sitting over in there on my way home every day.
Yeah,
got to see them sitting over there.
yeah,
I'm glad to see that they're put in and of use.
Yes, and the great thing is they're accessible. They're accessible for everybody, no matter what your ability is, and so they're great for field trips, and schools and all ages can come out and enjoy them. So it's a wonderful partnership with the city.
Very cool.
And a lot of other sponsors.
And David, I know that you said you've got several things going on with that. What are some of the programs that you've got coming up that are going on in the trail system?
So some of the programs I'm involved with is I'm one of the main trail builders out at Buffalo Lake, so we've been working out there a lot, and there's a lot going on at Buffalo Lake as far as mountain bike races.
And it's full again. That's
It is
one
full
thing I
again.
want to tell everybody.
That's right.
The dredge
lake
is done.
full.
The dredge is done, and it's beautiful too. It's nice to see. It's not a mud hole anymore. It's really quite a beautiful area. The city did a fantastic job restoring that lake. And another thing that's exciting about what is going on at Buffalo Lake is the tourist trail from the hotel district into downtown is probably going to start at the end of this year. So we're getting ready to go to another phase of disruption, but it's going to be an incredible add to the area, and just connecting those two areas of the city is going to be great.
Absolutely. Matt, you and I talked about that last year,
We
with
did.
partnership with P&L Railroad and looking at some of that area down through there and acquiring some land.
We did. We have two separate areas that we're really looking at. The first one from Commerce Drive all the way down to E-Town that David has mentioned. That is through our Tourism Bureau and with the help of our city. That is going to be a great connector for our hotel district. And then as we talked in the previous segment we did, I think a year ago, we are now in the final phases of the P&L Rails to Trails project, which is down behind Southern States off of Highway 62. And that is kind of the linchpin for the entire Greenbelt. So that's the last one of the last phases to connect all of our trails to go all the way around our community. So we're very excited about that. We should be able to get that worked on this summer. Now that all of the easements and all the paperwork is done, we're ready to get in there and start to finalize some of the work there. So we hope by the end of this summer that trail will be open to the public to go and experience. There's a beautiful bridge down that way. Mm-hmm. It's an old Civil War bridge, but it's a beautiful bridge over Valley Creek.
And people will be able to
Creek.
use that to cross?
Yes, they'll be able to walk right across that bridge, and that'll take them out to where Sandy Springs area is next to ECTC. So we still have some work to do on that section to get some easements there, but we're hopeful that that's going to work out. And one of the interesting things we discovered when we were doing all the research for that P&L Railroad Rails to Trails project was that Elizabethtown's first bourbon industry was actually right there, the Ashton Bourbon Distillery.
And we talked about that, said how cool would it be to have a little maybe a festival or something. We'd have like a little kiosk there,
Yes.
bourbon, or a kiosk of
just a
of
little
food
historical
vendors or
marker
something.
there.
Yeah.
Just to let people know what was there at one time, and so we're very excited about that. And that's just another addition to what is really our bourbon trail, but this is a real trail. It's just not associated with the distilleries, but this is a good way to pull in what we're doing here with some of our industries here and some of our businesses here. Boundary Oak is here now, so this is a good way to look back on our historical, foundation.
Maybe get Brent to put a kiosk out there.
Oh, that'd be nice.
When you have a thing, and be able to sell bourbon out there. Get Bourbon Barrel Tavern to come down and put a little live entertainment and sell some drinks out there.
I don't know if
That'd be
they'll
really
let us
cool.
sell any drinks, but it'd be nice to have a little place to visit.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
It would be.
Hey, there we go. Food for thought,
There
guys.
you go. There you go.
But David, when Matt and I talked about this last year, it opens up and connects that corridor where so many of the motels and hotels are located there at I-65, off of 62 there, to the historic downtown Elizabethtown.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something that's exciting about this is one of the original visions of the Greenspace founders was a river walk in downtown. And, so that tourist trail connecting from the hotel district into downtown and then downtown out to the P&L Bridge is kind of that, maybe the seed for that to happen, right, and really become a beautiful area, as well as that apartment complex that's going in and the old Herb Jones property and everything else, because downtown's going to change. And the people living downtown are going to need places to go to get out into nature and, to contribute to their quality of life. And to just be able to go from downtown in either direction, see something really cool.
Right. How downtown has changed since
it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful, hasn't it? It has been. I've got to give this.
To have grown up here and see what downtown was to what it is now. Not that we don't miss the way it was, but
that's right.
It's so awesome to see how things are really growing and downtown's alive.
And I want to give a lot of credit to our city and our city council and our mayor and of course our developers down there. They've kept that historical feel, that small town feel, as they have made those renovations, and they continue to do so as we grow. And our population with SK Blue Oval and all of that's coming, and we'll see a tremendous amount of growth. And so we want to have Greenspace remain at the forefront of all those development ideas, and we are so blessed to have partnerships with all of these folks that are coming in. They have sustainability programs and they have grant programs, and they are some of them are partnering. Some of our factories that have been here, like Dow Corning, has partnered with Greenspace and Central Kentucky Community Foundation for an orchard area out at our nature park. So although we're seeing a lot of growth, it's nice to see them incorporating green space and recognize the importance of preserving these areas for our community.
But those partnerships, a good segue there, Matt, for talking about you all have got such a wonderful partnership with the city of Elizabethtown.
We do. And I know David has worked on the trails at Buffalo greatly, and the person right there next to him is provided by the city. We have a full-time trail maintenance individual. And he does such a wonderful job.
How long have they been on board?
Just been about a couple of years now.
About a year, I think.
Yeah, Randall Pauley has come on board from the Parks and Recreation Department, and the mayor and the council, while I was on there, saw fit to add that addition, and we're so blessed to have him. And he's gone out and taken the reins and gone to trainings on trail building, and to really takes a vested interest in making sure our trails are safe.
Beyond that is the city officials, Parks and Recreations Director, and the planners, and Ed Pope and the mayor. They're really accessible to us. So when we have a concern or an idea on the trails, or just bike pedestrian mobility in town, they make themselves very accessible to us. So it's great to have that relationship with the city, and the resources they provide are just unbelievable. And as I was telling you before the interview started, other people from other cities in Kentucky come here and they see the cooperation, the resources cities provide, and they're really blown away by what we have here. So we're very fortunate in Elizabethtown for what we have.
And we're the first what in
Kentucky? Kentucky's first urban trail town. That moniker we earned in 2019, I believe, and at that time it was a year-long application process. But to have that moniker has really served us well. It's starting to attract people to our city. When they hear that moniker, Kentucky's first urban trail town, it makes them want to come here and visit. It gives our people that visit our sports park something to do other than when they're not playing games. They can hit a trail. But one of the things we're really excited about is the work that David has done as a mountain biking coach. and getting our school-age children involved. And
in fact, you before we went on camera, you were talking about mountain bikes and some things that had gone on here this past year.
Yep. We've had a number of mountain bike races out at Buffalo Lake, so attracted a number of youth. And those events, we had 200 racers last year, which typically, in addition to the racers themselves, attracts about 400 spectators. So about 600 people coming into town to watch this. We had the state championships in Elizabethtown last year. The year prior, we were one of the series races, and they're returning again on the 23rd and 24th of September as part of the Kentucky Interscholastic Cycling League race.
So is most of the mountain bike trails out at Buffalo Lake, or where?
Well, we do. We have them there, but we also have other places in Hardin County that have mountain biking opportunities at Fort Duffield, at Saunders Springs, and other areas. But Buffalo Lake is kind of our home base, and that's where we have about 10 miles of single-track trails out there for people to explore and ride. And you know, one of the greatest compliments I think I can give David and the trail building crew that worked out there in Randall Pauley is after all their hard work, our town was visited by NICA, which is the mountain biking group, to evaluate whether or not we were race ready, or whether or not we would maybe compete with other cities for a state championship race. And they put us in a category with Land Between the Lakes and Daniel Boone National Forest. And we won out. We beat two of the biggest places.
Wow.
And so that's a huge compliment to what David and the crew and Greenspace has done out there as a whole, and our volunteers that go out there and work. It's just an amazing accomplishment, and we're reaping that reward. I think we're having a lot of tourism now coming in from out of state, and anytime you can go out to Commerce Drive and you can see license plates from all over Michigan, Ohio, you know, they're just coming in here to ride our trails, and that's a good thing.
David, do you have more races going on this summer? Is it coming up?
Yes, it's not a youth race. We've got a mountain bike race and a trail running race on 10 June. Myself and Will Rivera from Running Souls are running that, and it's the second year we've done that, and we're hoping to grow it into a bigger event with more running races and more cycling and more mountain biking as time goes on. Last year we had about 80 people show up, and we announced it about a month out. This year we have a month to go, and I think we have about 40 people registered right now, and it's attracting people from Louisville and across the state, as well as a number of the local youth team members from the mountain bike and their parents, because that's one of the great things about the youth mountain biking movement here in Elizabethtown is you get the kids involved and you start dragging the parents into the sport too.
Yep.
Sure.
And that's a wonderful thing that David has. He's a coach of our local mountain biking team, and that is a combination of Hardin County School age students and Elizabethtown. So from middle school to high school, we have these students coming together to form a mountain biking squad. You know, when we were in school, we used to probably maybe sneak away to go fishing, and now they have fishing teams and they give scholarships. And I see.
We won't talk about that, even though a lot of our teachers are retired now,
right.
But we won't talk about that.
But now you have fishing teams, and it's the same thing with mountain biking. It has now taken on across the state, and we have other school systems that have mountain biking teams, and they're coming here to Elizabethtown to compete.
Isn't that cool?
As one of the race sites, and that's just a wonderful opportunity for some of the kids that may not be involved in your traditional sports. They're gravitating towards things like this, and and their families come with them. As David said, it's just a wonderful thing to see.
David, before we came on, you started talking about some different events that are going on in Greenspace this summer. One of the things you said was Tales on Trails?
Tales on Trails, yep. A couple of our board members run that every year, and it's a series of reading out on the trails. We provide the books, and just have your kids come out and they'll read to them and give them books.
When will that be taking place?
It is starting in June. I forget the exact date, but there's a series of them. So if you go to our social media, Greenspace KY, there's something there, and as our website as well, greenspaceky.com.
So Greenspace, when you say social media, you're talking about Facebook, and
Instagram,
and your website as well. Will tell those dates and so on and times.
Yeah, there's. Okay. I think there's at least 10 or 12.
And give us that again so people can get that bottom of the screen. For Facebook site would be what?
Greenspaceky.com.
Okay, and what about that's your website, but is your Facebook site Greenspace KY?
Yep.
Okay, all right. And so folks, if you all want to find out more information about the activities that are going on this summer with Greenspace and the trail system, that'd be a great place for you all to go look and see what's going on. And you know, in the past, you'd done some concerts.
We have in the past. The Emerald Cathedral was a new addition that we added to the Freeman Lake Trail.
In fact, we've been out there and did a live show out there a couple times.
And I think that's where a lot of the Tales on Trails takes place, is at the Emerald Cathedral. So, and we also have, maybe this summer, we're going to try to bring back maybe a concert or two this summer as well.
Yeah, bluegrass concert, David, would be really good.
That's what we've heard. Everybody enjoyed the bluegrass concert, and so we're looking. I think we've got a lot of local talent.
In fact, the group, we actually do. We've got a group. We've got a group in Hardin County, and people that come from other counties to Hardin County to pick and play every other Friday night. So. The group that you had that came in and substituted for the group that was supposed to, they were phenomenal.
Yes, they were.
And they used to come pick with our group quite a bit, so I knew who they were.
Brian Richardson in that group, yes.
And next time I'm going to bring my juice harp so I can get up there and play
with you can go up there and play with them.
But, you know, we'd love to see them come back.
Oh, absolutely. And we'd like to expand. I know they have a lot of friends in the bluegrass music scene that meets are from around the counties surrounding us.
Just make it a bluegrass night.
And I think we will have another bluegrass concert there.
You all heard it here first on HCEC-TV. That was Matt Denneen out of his mouth saying that we will have a bluegrass concert night.
We're going to work on that.
At the Emerald Cathedral sometime this summer now.
That's right. We haven't got a date set, but we're working on that. So once we can coordinate the dates with the bands, and maybe we can find some sponsorships. So if someone's out there that's watching that would like to sponsor Greenspace concert, they can contact us through Facebook or through our website and reach out to us, and
you know,
we'll be glad to take those on.
We may be even able to talk Gina into letting us do a little blurb advertisement on here, saying
anytime.
Instead of just a show, we can get on here and say, "Hey, this is the date. Save it. Come."
We might have to have you all do a live,
Cathedral.
do a live show right there during the concert.
Absolutely.
So we just have a lot of good things going on, and our community's truly blessed to have, you know, over 49 years of green space activity in our community, and next year marks our 50th anniversary, 2024. So it's such a great leap and such a great legacy that our founders have left us, and we're so blessed to see that come to fruition, and not only to see their vision come to fruition, but to expand on that, and to include so many more partners and so many of the school systems and just the entire community that's bought into what we're trying to do here. And I think it's good. It's a great thing to see. It's a great thing to be a part of. So if anybody out there would like to volunteer, they can do so. They could come out and help us do trail cleanups. They can come out and help us build trails. All they have to do is leave us a message on our Facebook page or on our website, and we will be glad to work with any corporate team or any other small group of students or teams that would like to come out and help us clean up. And so we're always welcoming to folks that want to participate and help us maintain this great trail system.
Very cool. You know, we talked about the concert series, but people just don't realize what a gem that we have out there until you start going out. And, you know, we want also to stress that these trails are very safe. Many times we've seen Elizabethtown Police Bike Patrol, you know, you talk about mountain bike, their bike patrol riding those trails, and
what a ripple effect that has had, that we even now have, what is it, they have a electric mountain bike with our EPD.
Yes, absolutely.
And they patrol our trails on a regular basis, and so it's not uncommon to go out there and walk your dog or be out there with your family to see an EPD, you know, on mountain bikes, riding along the trails and checking on you and making sure things are safe.
And E-Town Fire Department right there at the trailhead have got an ATV that's able to come out. If somebody gets hurt out there, they're right there. I mean, they are on it.
Yes, sir.
Well, and you know, going to our partnership with the city and our website again, is our map is linked to City GIS, which does the mapping of our trails. And I'd encourage people to look at some of the other trails. You know, Freeman is kind of the crown jewel of the trail system. There's other smaller trails in the system that are relatively undiscovered that have some very cool areas on them. And so if you've done Freeman Lake and you're looking for something new, go to our website, look up the map, and find one of those trails you haven't discovered yet. And there's really some neat stuff out there, and it's the same thing. They're perfectly safe. You know, they're close to civilization. So if you get into trouble, you can get out pretty quick. You know, and so take a look around.
We're very close to getting that true ring that you're always talking about.
Absolutely. We're just
every time that we come in here and talk,
a little bit
every
closer.
show that we have, you're getting a little bit closer, inches and inches and inches closer every time.
And we're so blessed that the Spraggs, Ed and Mary Spragg, our founders, had that vision a long time ago. And so here we are knocking on the door, making that a realization.
Absolutely. Anything else you all want to get out about some things that are going on with Greenspace?
We do have an event coming up on May 21st that's one of our most popular events. It's Dr. Gerard's Turtle Talk, and that is going to be on May 21st.
Which you told me it was a Sunday.
On a Sunday at 2 o'clock, and it'll be at the sports park. There's a couple of ponds out there. He likes to go out and bring in some turtles to share with children and their families, and he discusses a lot about reptiles and other things, but he does such a good job and has been such a strong supporter of Greenspace for years. And when I was a teacher and principal, he would always bring his reptiles and turtles to our schools. And
he loves
do all of that. So we're so blessed to have Dr. Gerard involved with Greenspace still. And so May 21st, we'd like to invite everybody out to witness that. Bring your children and come out and check out some things with him.
Again, what day is that on?
May 21st, 2 o'clock at the Elizabethtown Sports Park.
Very cool. And I guess it'll be there close to the entrance, or?
At the soccer field pavilion.
Okay.
That's where we'll gather.
Okay. All right. Very cool.
Yep.
Well, it's so much going on all the time. Of course, this is a big travel time for lots of people, and young people out of school pretty soon.
That's right.
Teachers out of school pretty soon. And so the parks and the trail system will just be, we don't want to say full, but will be utilized quite extensively during that time frame.
That's right. And we have over 30 miles of trails, so there's always room for more.
And we want y'all to know that most of those trails are under the canopy of the trees throughout that area, so it's much cooler on those trails than it is outside in the sun. So we want to emphasize that as we go along. You know, it's a very cool
it's a great place to recreate and to kind of enjoy the good weather.
Absolutely. Hey, you all had a fundraiser not too long ago at the lake, the wine.
That was the city's wine festival that they normally do. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. That's a good one. They always do a wonderful job there, and of course, they have the city has a new bandstand that they've put out there, and along that bandstand and where the wine festival normally is, as the city has added a paved trail to that side of Freeman Lake, so that and that is just widely used. And if you ever go out there on the weekend, you'll understand it's a lot of people out there using it.
And that's one thing, David. We want to make people understand that many of these trails are handicap accessible as well.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yep. There's something for everybody, no matter what age you are. We always like to say we try to market our trails and have something available for 0 to 95. And get out there, and if you want to come and get on a trail that's paved, you can. If you want to walk a gravel trail or a natural trail, there's something out there for everybody. So.
And if any of y'all are wondering how you can volunteer or how you can be part of Greenspace, you can go to your all's website. Give that website one more time.
GreenspaceKY.com.
And we'll put that down at the bottom of the screen. If you're looking for an activity where you can volunteer and feel good about making something here in the city of Elizabethtown and helping out, not just the city of Elizabethtown, but all of Hardin County in this, come out and volunteer. Get yourself embedded in with these folks, and it's not only a good workout, but you get to see the fruits of your labor, truly.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. Well, we always want to thank HCEC-TV. You all have always been so kind to Greenspace, and we do appreciate Red Hill Cutlery and all of the sponsors that make all of this possible. So we're just very blessed to be able to share our projects and our organization as a local nonprofit with everyone in our community, and we're always blessed to get people out there and join us.
Absolutely. All right, guys, thank you all so much. You're giving us a 3-minute sign, so our time, we know, Matt, anytime you and I get together, our time always flies by.
It does.
Before David, thanks for being on our show with us
Thanks for having
today.
me.
And thank you for all that you guys do to help our community and increase the activities for things to do.
You're welcome.
Hey, stay tuned to HCTV as we talk about things going on not only in the community, but as school winds down in the Hardin County school system. We'll have some great shows on talking about some of the things that kids are doing at the end of the year and some of the shows and programs that they'll have going on at the end of the year. So stay tuned to Hardin County Education in Community TV as we keep you involved on what's going on in this big county that we call home and our Hardin County school system. I'm Bryce Shumate from Red Hill Cutlery. Thank you for joining us today. Guys, thank you all for joining us, and thank you for all you do. And thank you for what you do to keep our city and our county safe. Have a great summer, you all.